I have been doing tabletop role-playing game content around the old school part of the tabletop role-playing game hobby for, well, slightly over 10 years now. And there is something I've learned over these years. Many people in that part of the hobby will behave in very poor ways, and they can't see it, they won't admit to it, and if you simply reflect their own behavior back at them, like you behave towards them like they do towards other people, right away they'll see a problem with your behavior. But all you're doing is reflecting back to them what they do. Meaning they are completely blind. They are hypocrites to their own behavior. Right? They'll say you're awful, you're doing drama. I'm like, well, fair enough. You might have a point, but that means you're awful in doing drama. All I'm doing, in some cases over the years, like I poke a bit, is reflect back at them what they do towards other people. They've done it to me, so I know this personally. And all I do is reflect back at them their own behavior, and they say it's a problem. Oh, they'll talk about how people behave towards each other. It's like, hey, we were all against this sort of, we all had an aim, a certain target many years ago. We go against the woke, right? And then as soon as people stopped doing that, we all turned on each other. But the problem is, over these many years, every time I hear all the conversations around the old school, you know who they keep out of that dialogue? Me. They try to act like I don't exist, because for many years I have just freely spoken. I said unpopular things, and people in that part of the hobby decided not to like me. I'm not included in the circle. I'm not included in the conversation. Right? And I totally get it. It's like I'm Voldemort. They won't say my name. They won't acknowledge. They'll act like, oh, we were all fine. I'm like, well, back then when you were all fine, you were all still attacking me. And when you stopped and you went against each other in many ways, you kept attacking me. It's not like anything has changed on my end. Right? And I don't like people who are public people. Like, I'm a public person. When I say something out loud, I am fine with you criticizing me. Criticizing what I have to say, verbally attacking me, and I won't come to the comment section of your videos, your content, and say, you can't do that. I don't push back and say you're in the wrong for responding. I think you have the right. I'm a public person. I put myself out here. Many people in the old school that are content creators, they'll say something, and if you say the slightest thing back to them, they flip out. They lose their minds. They don't think you should have said anything back to them at all. They'll think that you're in the wrong. I'm like, dude, you can't live in a protective bubble. You can't come out in public and say what you're saying and not take some heat for what you said. Right? Just how it is. Now, of course, we could all get along if people would play fair, but many of the people that will talk very righteous, like they're good people, or they can speak to you, or they can preach to you, many of them are some of the worst behaving people around that part of the hobby. It's like, dude, you're a hypocrite. You're a complete hypocrite. Don't tell other people to be better. Start with yourself. A lot of them forget why they're preaching about other people, that the best way to prove a point is, well, practice what you preach. Don't tell me to be better as if you're somebody in the right, not when you're not. Practice what you preach. Lead by example. But many of them just want to preach at everyone else and then talk exactly the way they talk, which is ill-behaved. Oh, I don't know how many I hear like that they'll say these other guys, they talk like they're better than everyone else, but they'll say it while they're giving a tone that they are better than those people and better than everyone else. It's such a hypocritical way to be. It's like, well, you talk like you're better than everyone else, so why are you calling these people over here elites? But they do. They do. They just do. And when I say the old school, I want to be clear. I'm not talking about everybody in the old school, because the vast majority do not actually associate with what I would call old school tabletop role-playing YouTubers. Like, they don't. Most active people online in the old school actually do not watch old school tabletop role-playing game YouTubers. That is the absolute truth. I'll give you an example. Matt Colville. If you took the totality of old school people in his audience, it would outnumber every old school tabletop role-playing game YouTubers subscriber count. Like, if you combine them all, took all the old school YouTubers, took all their subscribers and put it into one package. Matt Colville has more old school people following him and his content in totality than they do. I mean, his numbers of old school people that follow him dwarf, right, the entire audience of people that are watching old school tabletop role-playing game YouTubers. They don't like to hear that, and they get mad at me when I point that out. But they get mad at me no matter what I say, so I don't... Look, I can play fair with people that play fair with me, but when people don't play fair with me, I just stop playing fair. I really do. I give up on the audience, that old school, that part of the audience, I don't try for. I don't try to draw them to my channel. I don't try to appease the YouTubers over there, and occasionally I'll come out and be slightly critical of how they are, because I'll stop and sometimes I'll hear what they have to say. But there are always people that are talking about how good they are, patting themselves on the back, and they never see their own bad behavior. And over the years, all I've done on occasion is reflect I'll behave exactly like they do towards, the way they behave towards other people or myself, I'll behave that way towards them. And suddenly they can see the problem, but I'm like, well, I'm glad you can, but that means you should go look in the mirror, don't you think? I mean, each guy over there, they'll speak with righteous anger towards other people, or they got to put somebody in their place, or I don't care. Well, dude, you're the problem, though. You're the problem. Not me, not the other people around. You are. Right? That's the thing they don't clue into. All right, I'm a two-way street type of guy. Like, look, if you treat me good, I'll treat you good. If you're fair with me, I'll be fair with you. All right? Now, I've just learned over the years, I deal with hypocrites over there. If you don't say what the popular opinion is, people can get really angry with you. Really angry with you just over gaming opinions. And they can get quite crazy about this. They can paint you up as somebody that you're not. They can make up lies about you. And they're really just mad that you said something about gaming that they don't agree with. That's really the issue, right? Now, I say this because I always see them sort of trying to figure this out. I always do. I see them trying to figure this out, trying to solve their issues, trying to come to it. But here's the problem these guys have had over the years. Every time they're trying to fix what is going on, the negativity that's around that part of a YouTube, the biggest issue, the thing causing most of the trouble, they don't see it. It's them. It's their behavior. It's like they keep telling you, everyone else has to behave like this. I'm like, no. Start with you. Start with you. You have to behave better. And I'm one guy. They'll act like I'm some type of bully. I'm like, well, there's what? 20 of you attacking me, taking my ideas, ignoring me, you don't want to mention my name, la-di-da, la-di-da. And there's one of me. Like, come on, guys. And guys that can't, I can't stand seeing the hypocritical, tough guy act, and then they can't take any heat thrown back at them. They can't take it at all. I'm like, dude, if you can't take it, don't dish it. Don't go on a stream and talk with a fucking attitude and say, I don't give a fuck. Dude, you can't take the slightest bit of criticism about what you put out there. It's like, let alone they're in an echo chamber, they want to live in some protective bubble when they come out and talk to you. Right? I mean, I know some guys that have like 8,000 plus subscribers. I have a small account, right? They can do 10 to 20 streams attacking me verbally. Lying, the whole 9 yards. Really going to the extreme. I swear, if I do a 5-minute video about that guy who's done 20 streams on me, lying, verbally attacking. He loses his mind and he can't handle it. It is the most insecure, weakest thing I've ever encountered in my life online. And you know, I've heard this stuff goes on in other parts of YouTube, maybe even in the other parts of the tabletop role-playing game hobby, but I don't pay attention to everything that goes on in the hobby. I have a life. I don't have time for that. I barely have time to really pay attention to much of this, but I encounter it. It's some of it sent my way, some of it I occasionally take a look at, occasionally when I get the time, which isn't that often. And for many of you out there that might come across my stuff that's from the new school, from other parts of the hobby, maybe you don't even recognize what I'm saying, right? You're in your bubble. It's like, oh, everything's good for you. I'm glad it is, right? But I got to say, this old school part of YouTube, the old school tabletop role-playing game part, is a madhouse. It's a madhouse. And the biggest issue is the people telling everybody else that they're the issue. It's like, no, dude, things don't get better until you get better. Things don't get better until those people grow up. I'm not the issue. Other people outside of each one of those YouTubers, the other YouTubers, aren't the issue. Everyone there has to work on themselves and improve their attitudes, right? But they won't. It's always going to be the next guy's issue. I gave up talking shit about people. I moved on, but that's me changing my behavior. And what I'm trying to show some of these old school guys is, look, sometimes you got to take it upon yourself to act right, change how you behave, instead of waiting for everyone else to get on their hands and knees and act a certain way so you can keep your ego up here and keep mouthing off. It just doesn't work that way, right? The only way you meet in the middle with anybody is you change your own behavior first, right? You don't be so cheap. And it's weird to see a bunch of old men act like children. Immature in the way they will take what you're saying and use it in their content like it's some original thought they had. They didn't have. It's insecurity. They will not credit anybody with anything, right? They don't. And they all think they're something they're not. And they can't see the truth. And again, they'll want to come out and do a video like this. Now, I have ground to stand on. The other people that come out and do videos like this, trying to call people out, they don't. A big part of the issue going on around them, it's them. Dude, start with yourself. Each one of you, start with yourselves. You don't need a one target, a woke. You don't have to worry about turning on each other. I don't get all that stuff. I think that's silly to begin with. But it's not like at any point I was in the circle and when everyone was getting along, I was getting along with them. No, when they all get along many years ago, many of the people you see having clashes now, they still all did streams on me, lied about me, attacked me. Nothing ever stopped. Right? But again, they'll respond to me without saying my name. They'll take my ideas and repeat what I say in their content as if they have some original thoughts. When they don't, they're just using mine. They'll do all that, then they'll treat me like Voldemort. Can't say my name. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I get how it works. Don't worry, guys. But unlike the rest of you, I lead by example. Because you can see my change in behavior, right? And I tell anybody, when it comes to how this all works on here, no matter what drama is going on in any part of YouTube, you got to stop looking at other people and thinking they are the problem. I stopped. Look, I could have played the blame game forever. It's him. You know what? If I change how I behave, maybe that solves the issue for me. And that's where you start, baby. With yourself. Start with yourself, right? I don't hate the old school, but I find their behavior weird, their egos undeserved, and they'll call me crazy when in reality, the insecurity, the mental issues are all with them. They're unhinged. They're fucking crazy. And they need help. A lot of them need help. That's true. They'll project. Here's what I've noticed about old school content creators, YouTubers. Projection is one of their greatest weapons. Right? But the problem is when they do this, they forget that it is deceit that it's all based on. And they start believing it. They'll be a little crazy and off the wall and unhinged. They'll call you unhinged. But instead of realizing they're just projecting towards you, they start believing it, and then they think they're sane while they continue to act in insane, unhinged ways. Right? I hope they figure it out. But start with yourself. That's what I did. I'm leading by example. I changed my behavior, how I do content, leading by example. And you can't just change for 1 week either. I've done consistent change over a long period of time. Because it has to be real. Alright? And you inspire other unhinged people in your audience to be crazy. It's insane. We're just talking about games. I think it's silly, childish, but oh well. I've already said that before. It doesn't seem to get anybody anywhere. But I gotta say, the old school is growing very slowly, not going nowhere. It's harming itself. And the content creators there are really the issue. It's them. They'll always aim it at you, but it's them. Change your behavior, guys, and things will improve. Okay, I love you.